From Creamer Media in Johannesburg, this is the Real Economy Report, our top stories this week. We speak exclusively to Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan about South Africa's growth aspirations. We take a look at the latest product offering from Johnson Crane Hire. And the Young Sessa initiative takes Mr. Sunshine to schools in Gauteng. South Africa, like many other countries, is still in recovery mode following the global financial crisis. But in a recent interview with Creamer Media's Terence and Martin Creamer, Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan indicated that government was keen to look beyond the crisis and forge a social compact around a new 7% 20-year growth path.
Look, the bottom line is that we've done fairly well in the first 15 or 16 years of our democracy. At the same time, we've got to be honest with ourselves and say we've got 4 to 6 million youth that are unemployed. Between the 15-year category and 24-year category, there's 4 million youth alone who have probably got a metric or less, but no prospect of work at this point in time. So unless we do something spectacularly different, unless we can demonstrate the same boldness that we did with the World Cup and pull it off as we did then as well, we're not going to meet both the social and economic targets that we've set for ourselves. When we say a new growth plan, what we mean is that we've got to learn to do things differently. We've got to acknowledge that the current trajectory of our growth won't help us to get where we want to get. And unless we become more ambitious, unless we can put a number like 7% over 20 years, that's what the Spence Commission looked at, to see what are the policy lessons from countries that can grow at that level and for that duration of time. So we're not talking about short spurts, but sustained growth over a period of time. Then it means that you've got to put a recipe together. And that's the work that we're currently doing. I mean, setting a target like 7% over 20 years and setting a target like getting youth off the streets and into productive employment or engagement in one kind of way or another is going to require a humongous national effort. So the private sector will have to do its bit, the labor movement will have to do its bit, the social sectors will have to do their bit, and government will have to do its bit. We've got to now get the minds to meet. We've got to get the minds to agree that this is a formidable national challenge that we have. And like countries elsewhere in the world that have successfully negotiated these sorts of, let's call them social compacts for now, and determined, if you like, a national intent, our challenge is, can we do it here? But not just as another document which is testimony to the fact that we can sit in a room and talk, but far more importantly that we can give effective implementation to it, and people must be able to palpate it in their day-to-day and real life.
To learn more about the possible components of the emerging new growth path, read this week's cover story in Engineering News. Johnson Crane Hire has recently introduced its first crawler crane in Africa with a 750-ton lifting capacity and the ability to pick up a load and travel with it. Petronelle Smith reports.
Johnson Crane Hire's latest offering, the Liebherr LR7050 larger capacity lattice boom crawler crane, features a 84-meter-long main boom configuration and can achieve a lifting height of 155 meters. Johnson Crane Hire's Heavy Lift Division GM, Peter Yaman, tells us more about the crane's features.
The Liebherr LR1750 lattice boom crawler crane has a capacity of 750 tons. We are able to configure this crane with a main boom length of 84 meters with an additional 70 meters of lattice fly jib, which enables us to reach a total lifting height of approximately 155 meters. The crane is configured with 400 tons of superlift counterweight and an additional 245 tons of machine counterweight and 95 tons of central ballast.
Yaman believes that the added capacity that the Liebherr LR7050 crawler crane affords the company will not only open up numerous opportunities for special heavy lift operations locally, but will provide access to other markets, such as the energy sector.
The LR1750 is one of the largest capacity lattice boom crawler cranes in the southern hemisphere. In fact, probably the largest crane. We currently have potential work for this crane due to start in the next month and a half, which is a good start to a fairly large investment in capital equipment.
South Africa is blessed with rich solar resources, and now there's a program educating the youth on solar power. Christy van der Merwe takes a look at what happens when Mr. Sunshine visits a school in Benoni.
Through seeing and touching solar power equipment, children grasp much more than they will ever gain from merely reading textbooks. This is the premise of the Sustainable Energy Society of South Africa's Young Sessa program, which takes the solar show on the road to schools in the Gauteng area. The program was developed by Suntoy entrepreneur Harold Schultz, aka Mr. Sunshine, and Class Smart Training Coordinator Karen Petzer. It is a legacy project from the World Solar Congress, which was held in South Africa in 2009, and hopes to plant the seeds of education. The program runs over 2 hours. The first is dedicated to theory, where students discuss the difference between renewable energy and non-renewable energy and talk about climate change and solar power. The second hour is when the fun starts, and learners move outside to conduct activities and experiments. These include using a solar water cooker to heat water and make the teachers a cup of tea, assembling a dismantled solar water heater, and a favorite among the pupils, making a solar-powered windmill.
It's cool. It's awesome. We took the solar panel and put it in the sun, and then it started rotating.
That's Creamer Media's Real Economy Report. Join us again next week for more news and insight into South Africa's real economy.